Hello, I'm X3Cat, and this is QnA Saturday, the weekly series I run on my channel. I answer your questions that have been left on my channel over the past week or so about, things people want to ask me. These tend to be mostly about the next update, title update 58 or whatever we're calling it, but they also tend to be about just other things people want to ask me about life and the world in general. So yeah, that's all I'm going to be answering in today's video. Hopefully you do enjoy the QnA Saturday. You can like it if you do, because it helps out the channel a lot, and lets know you do like the weekly Q&A. But with that said, let's get straight into the first question, which comes in from Colin Ward, who says, will Xbox get the alpha of the beta together update? And this is a slightly complex question, but the simple answer is no, but what you actually were asking is yes. So the beta together update, or the brand new version of Minecraft on the console, will be actually coming out at some point this summer, they said, for Minecraft Xbox, and the alpha of that is already out right now, but it's only available for Microsoft employees, I believe. Like, there's no way to get it. It exists, we can see it exists, we can see people have been playing it, but there's no way for normal people to get there. However, they will be doing a beta of this update for Minecraft on the console, the Xbox in particular, and that's if you have the Xbox Insider app. They've hinted it a little bit. I'm going to wait and see if we get any more information, but I believe there will be a beta of this update, and that will be something you can play. So yeah, it looks like beta for future updates might be coming in future, or at least for the very launch of this game, which is something I'll let you know as soon as we actually see coming out. So with that said, let's move to the second question, shall we, which comes in from Dank Meme Monkey, who says, #Q&A, what is your dream pet? And I know the immediate response people think I'm going to say is llama, but the truth is, actually it really is a llama. Because, okay, so I know this is ridiculous. People think like, oh, the llama joke's gone too far to look at, but no, a llama really would be one of the best pets, because if you're gonna have a pet that's like, most normal pets are like cats and dogs and like fish and sometimes a turtle or something, but if you want to have a fun pet that makes people go, wow, that's something, you get something exotic. So, if you want to go really crazy, you get like a tiger, but I feel like a tiger might kill me one day. I just don't want to deal with a tiger, so why not get a llama? A llama, you don't really have to do much of it, I'm pretty sure. I think you just like leave it, give it some grass or whatever, but then you have a llama in your life, and the simple answer is yeah, a llama would be the dream pet, because I always see these TV shows where people get these like ridiculous estates, and they're just like, why don't we just get some llamas too? And to me, that's like the most crazy level of decision making, just to be like, what, I'm at the point now where I think, llamas are a good idea, and it'd be pretty cool to be at that level. So llamas would be the best dream pet, just because of like what they signify if you can just decide to do llamas. So yeah, let's move to the third question, shall we, which comes in from Ramby YT. Why is this a question? But they say they should add fidget spinner boss in Minecraft. It's huge and it spins, and when you look at it for 3 seconds you die, and everything you build has disappeared. And by the way, when you look at it from the start, you have nothing but the map. Fidget spinner boss. My point with this is the most ridiculous YouTube 2017 comment. Sometimes I feel bad for insulting a lot of YouTube comments, because there's a lot of really good stuff in there, but there's this. Next time you're thinking like, oh yeah, so YouTube comments are so great, Toycat, then this is your example. Harambe commenting about the fidget spinner boss that releases fidget spinners that kill fidget spinners. Anyway, let's move to the fourth question, which comes in from Huda Eshoe, who says, #Q&A, what do you think will be in title update 57? So the next update, roughly, as we're calling it right now. So I assume title update 57 will probably be a bug fix, honestly. I'm not entirely certain on that, but there's still bugs to be fixed. Their previous update history makes me think that doesn't have to be the case. They might be working on something else that they'll release as next update, but we'll see as that happens. So what do I think will be in there besides bug fixes then? I'm assuming Minigame, because we just had 2 giant updates, and we've caught up with everything on the PC, and the PC is not even working on brand new stuff. So either they're going to catch up the Pocket Edition too, because they've got the PC, won't catch up the Pocket Edition, or they're going to work on the stuff that, it's just kind of vaguely missing, like customized worlds and barrier blocks, and, stuff that doesn't necessarily make sense, or there's going to be the mini-game that we know has been worked on. It's called Build Off in the code, and that's something we could see. So Build Off could be in this next update. Let's move on to the fifth question though, shall we? Which comes in from Vilia Hernandez, who says, so you're saying a game that's playable and downloadable from official stores or mobile devices isn't a mobile game? Toycat logic. So I say something like this every now and then, where I just like dismiss something and people go like, no, Toycat, you're wrong, you can't say that. So let me clarify. I say a lot of stuff like in an exaggerated way, and when I said Minecraft isn't a mobile game, of course it's a mobile game in the sense that you can, I'm not going to deny that it exists on mobile. Like, that would be like denying that, oh, by the way guys, did you know that water is actually not wet? And as it so turns out, the Xbox is actually edible, give it a bite. No, I'm not just going to say like stuff that is literally, no one could think these things. Like, this is a pro tip for the internet in general. When you think someone else's argument is so ridiculous they couldn't believe it, they don't. You're misrepresenting them. Sometimes they're a troll, and that's why sometimes this happens. But the truth is most of the time you gotta think like, when someone's saying something, give them benefit of the doubt. And that also maybe applies to YouTubers. But no, it's mostly about like, I think in your real life, you've got to realize when you have a big disagreement with someone, they're not always being ridiculous. And there's a life lesson from this comment. But no, I did want to mention what I actually meant then, because I said Minecraft Minecraft's not really a mobile game, and I said Hearthstone's not really a mobile game, and that's why I like it. And that's because what I mean by that is like these are games not designed for mobile, they just kind of are there separately. Because you've got to bear in mind, a PC, a console, and a a mobile game all have entirely different input methods, and if you design the game for those input methods, you've got a good game. So Minecraft, for instance, it's not designed for a touchscreen. You can feel it, it feels worse. You look at people play, they have less control over the game. It's just people like Minecraft so much, they're willing to play it with a touchscreen. That's like, that's a big dedication to it, but it doesn't mean it's meant for a touchscreen. It doesn't mean it's best in a touchscreen, and that's all I really meant to say. Some games are meant for touchscreen, they're great on touch, and they'd suck with a controller, I'm sure. Sometimes you see games that like are mobile games just in disguise on consoles and on PC, but for the most part, I just mean that touch controls aren't meant for all games, and hopefully you learned something about not misrepresenting people along the way. So yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next question, shall we, which comes in from Degraded Milk, who says, #QnA, do you have fan encounters often? So I actually don't. Most of my like experiences with fans, I guess, come from the Minecon experience, which doesn't seem to be any anymore, because like, again, I'm like very, people know me, but only in very specific areas, and that seems to be mostly Minecraft stuff. So yeah, I really enjoy fan encounters actually when it comes to Minecon, and although I've had a few outside of that, some dude just in my town came up to me and said, "Oh, are you IBX Toy Cat?" And he's like, "Oh, I think he said he watched the streams or something." I was like, "Oh, that's weird that like you now know where I live because you met me in my town." Or like, I once a guy at a canteen, like where I was eating, I think it was my college canteen, was just like, "Oh, hey, you're IBX Toy Cat," and I was like, please like my videos so you don't have to poison my food. It was that sort of thing, and yeah, like fan encounters in real life, usually a good thing. If you're making me food though, reveal that you are a fan afterwards, and make sure that you do. Tell me you like the videos. Like if you don't like them, then I just won't order food. Okay. But yeah, with that said, oh no. Also, but I want to mention that I want to do some other gaming events because there isn't going to be a Minecon 2017. At least they said there wasn't going to be. Maybe that's not public information I meant to say, but whatever. So there might not be a Minecon 2017. So instead, I'm thinking I'm going to go to some like tiny, smaller fan events. So either there's like Mine Fair in the US, I think. There's Minevention in Ireland. There's Insomnia in the UK. So let me know in the comments down below if you go to any of those and you'd like to see me there or whatever. Because I want to do something every now and then. Like it's cool to meet fans. It's like a reminder that this is like a real thing. And yeah, I like that. So with that said, let's move to the next question, shall we? Which comes in from Abdurrahman Al-Waya. I'm sorry, I'm just the worst. But their question is, what year did you start traveling the world? And would you be able to travel if the temperature is over 50 degrees Celsius? Sorry about the bad English. So first of all, I started traveling in 2015. It was just the sort of thing where like I finished college and then I was like, I guess I'm free now. And like YouTube was doing quite well, and I was like, well, I have this time. Why don't I just book flights somewhere? Because I always was seeing like these crazy cheap flights. So I saw some that was like, oh yeah, it's £6 each. It might be £7. It was £7 each way to Denmark, or £5 each way to Denmark. It was like some single digit price, and I was like, I'll go to Denmark. And then I saw like something similar, like, oh yeah, it's £15 to go to Slovenia. And I was like, sure, Slovenia. Haven't even heard of it before. Let's go there. And then I just figured, let's go to all the countries. I love seeing the differences in each country, and I kind of wanted to do that. So yeah, that's when I started traveling the world, and that's why. And the temperature being over 50 degrees, a lot of people say this every time I mention it being hot here, and I know, like, temperature doesn't have to be this game of, like, one-upping where, like, oh, it's 30 degrees here. Well, I tell you what, Toy Cat, it's 40 degrees here. Oh, you think 40 degrees is hot? It's 50 degrees here. Oh, you think that's hot? It's 57 degrees here. Like that. I feel like most things in life don't need to be a game like that. I get that, yes, 50 degrees is objectively hotter than 40, which is objectively hotter than 30, which is hotter than, like, 25, which is what I complain about sometimes. But the truth is one, in the UK, like our temperatures are pretty stable. I didn't actually know the rest of the world was so crazy variant. Like, I feel like, temperatures in the summer go up to like sometimes 30, and in the winter it goes down to like sometimes minus like 3 or something. Like, there's not much variance, whereas some people are like, oh yeah, so it snows, and then it's like crazy hot one day. Like, it just kind of gradually shifts throughout the year, and it's not too hot, too cold most of the time. So that's one of the things. So we don't get AC because it's only hot for like 10 days a year or something. So there's no AC, so you gotta bear in mind it's like 30 degrees, there's no AC, so there's no way to cool it down. And then on top of that, our houses actually absorb heat. So at one point I came home and it'd been like 30 degrees the entire weekend, and my house was a lot hotter than 30 because I had like a thermostat in there. It was something like 33 or 34 or 35, and it was just so painful to be inside the house. I could not be inside there because, again, houses are built to absorb heat, because it's better, you know, because winter lasts months here, whereas summer lasts, you know, really hot summer lasts days, and that's the reason why British summer sucks so much. I'm not saying that like, oh, it's 25 degrees is hotter than 50. I'm just saying it sucks just as much. Okay, we don't have to. We can all suffer together. So yeah, summer's the worst. I hate it so much because I have equipment that heats me up anyway. And there's the answer to your question, Mr. Abdiar. Let's move on to the next one. That was just a random little rant that was attached to that, wasn't that? But yeah, the next question comes in from Northern Irish Mapping, who says, what airlines have you flown, and what is your favorite airplanes? Because I spoke about airplanes last time, and I said I've got a weird passion for them, and Northern Irish Mapping wants to know more. So I've flown with every budget air carrier, I think. So Southwest, Wizz Air, Ryanair, EasyJet, and Norwegian. And I've also flown with a few major ones like British Airways and like Ukrainian Airways and Aeroflot. My favorite airline was like, by the way, for the record, either Aeroflot, just because like it was a Russian man trying to speak nice English, like he had to really try, and or more seriously, I like Norwegian because they're the best. And my favorite airplane, probably because I love Norwegian so much, is the 787, I think it's called. It's just this giant thing, but it's actually quite spacious too. Like again, for having a plane so big with so much space or whatever, and it's all like economy, and it's like, you know, it's a budget airline. You buy the cheapest tickets, like £150 to go to LA or something. You buy these crazy cheap tickets, but the plane's actually quite comfortable. It's got like touch screens. You can just order. Okay, you know, here's what it really is. I just realized. You can order food and drinks, like you pay for it at your thing, and then someone just brings it to you. So again, that's a thing most budget airlines do. You can pay for it, but you gotta wait till they come down the trolley with it. It's awkward, and you have to give them money. Whereas this actually, you know, you're paying money, but it's better than the normal service where like you hope they come past, then you ask for something, and they're like, "What? I don't hear." You know, it's awful. What I'm saying is, I like Norwegian, and that's why their planes are the best. So yeah, fly Norwegian if you're ever going from the US to the UK, or at least a major US airport to London, I should say. I'd recommend it 100%. So yeah, that's it. Let's move to the next question, shall we? Which comes in. It's actually not a question. It's a good example of a good comment, because this is one of the most amazing comments I've seen this week. They said, what if you made the car llamas invisible? And I had this big realization in my head of like, oh yeah, in the city text pack, llamas are cars. And then I made this video showing that like, oh yeah, if you make llamas invisible, only their carpet is visible, which means if you do it in the city text pack, you get this. That's right, you get cars in Minecraft, and that's why please do try to leave good comments. I want to just kind of mention this, like, there's a lot of there's this trend on YouTube where like you see just, you know, cancer, I think people call it in the YouTube comments, and you're just like, I'm not going to avoid that. You know, pro tip for real life, avoid cancer if you can, but the truth is you got to, like, I guess, make a good positive impact and just say something, whether it's just, like, nice feedback, or whether it's, like, something like, oh yeah, that'd be a good idea, Toy Cat, or whether it's just anything that's not first, notification squad, I used to be an air conditioner, oh, I'm a fan, or like, oh, 76 likes and Donald Trump, you know, whatever. There's just so much garbage in there. Don't add to it, though. And we can have a better community for it, and that's why I love that, because this comment just, it made something that I wouldn't have realized otherwise, and it was amazing. So yeah, let's move on to the final question, shall we? Which comes in from Master Cube, who says, how much would a setup like that cost? So yeah, a lot of people like the setup from my setup video, so thank you. I know it was so messy, the cables, and it's not a clean place. I get that. Thank you to everyone who said nice things anyway, but a lot of people are like, okay, I want to do something like this, how do I do it? So the truth is I wouldn't recommend a setup exactly like mine. I've got a very specific setup because I'm like a very picky, particular person, but I would say it's not worth blowing all that money. You don't need to have all this stuff just to make YouTube videos. If you want to make YouTube videos, the bare minimums you need a capture card for console. You need to have a microphone, a good one, Rode Podcaster, again, you need to have that. But beyond that, it really comes down to what you need to get your stuff done, or what you like to get your stuff done. You know, like, you don't need a PC that costs like ridiculous amounts just to have I think it's 10-core processor. You don't need to have this stuff. It's just I decided on that because it's a want to, not a need to. The only things you need are the capture card, etc. And a lot of people said like, oh yeah, well I can't afford to drop like, you know, 3-4 grand on a setup, so I can. And it's like, you shouldn't then. This is just like how I like to do things, and yeah, that's I want to get that message across because it wasn't clear in the setup video enough. If you want to set up, all you need is the Elgato, linked in the description down. I feel like I'm sponsored by them. I swear, I have the opposite of sponsored. Like, I don't really like them, but they do make a good capture card, and I do get 5% if you buy one in the link down below. Also, if you click that link down below and buy anything, including the Rode Podcaster, I'll get 5% on that, and that'd be pretty cool if you ask me. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. I said that'd be pretty cool if you asked me again, by the way. But yeah, thank you very much for the video. Like if you liked it, share if you liked it, subscribe if you're around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.